Francis Urquhart. It really is.
The British version.
British version really is fucking dope. Anybody with a brain should watch it. It's really hard to keep up with if you don't know much about Parliament, but maybe you learn something. Who knows?
I just haven't taken the time to watch it yet. Have you been watching anything that's not pod related? Anything fun that's not pod related?
I've been watching anything fun that's not pod.
It was like, I have to watch this because we're covering it on the channel.
The Offer.
The Offer. Oh yeah, that show about the.
It was really good.
Movie. Yeah,
it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I need to check that out. Like it looks really, really good. It's definitely an interesting concept. But hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to Drunk Banthas Podcast. Now we're talking about what you guys have been watching. We talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all of the popular art that we love. Also, we do it drunk. I'm joined, as always, by my brother Bill. How you doing?
I'm doing marvelous.
A little play on words there. Yeah. I see what you're doing. Today, we are talking about...
I'm doing Kamala. Well, I'm not doing Kamala, but you know what I'm saying. That's how I'm feeling. Kamala, apparently. Somebody put in the comments if that's real or not. Does Kamala really mean Marvel?
Yeah, I'm very curious. I forgot to look that up because I was like, oh, that's a happy coincidence, or like maybe that's what the creators of Kamala Khan actually intended when they created the character for the comics. But yeah, today, guys, if you haven't noticed, we are talking about the Marvel Disney Plus original series, Miss Marvel, the latest Disney Plus original Marvel series.
We're happy
I
about it.
Marvel a lot.
We're happy about it.
Actually, I forgot a little something. So, like, while I grab something, would you like to describe your initial thoughts on the episode?
Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I hated this show. This was not a good show. I mean, but it's not for me. Remember what I say on this podcast for you people who are longtime listeners of the show. You know that I always say, your old buddy Bill, he always says, these shows on Disney Plus are not for me. They're for children. I'm 36 years old, man. I'm a grown-ass man. I get laid. This show is for people who have possibly not gotten laid or who don't yet think about sex. This show is for people who, haven't graduated high school or possibly going into middle school. All the way up to including ages of 36 years old and 42 or whatever, Anybody can watch the show. It's made for the family. But this was not good. So that would make 3 shows in a row where we basically said it wasn't really that good. I mean, we liked Boba Fett because Mandalorian came in and saved it, but then we didn't really like Hawkeye that much. I kind of like Hawkeye more than you did. And then, I guess that's 4, because then there was Obi-Wan, which has been proven on the internet now that we can cut that down to 2-hour movie, or basically a 3-hour movie, and 2-hour and 35-minute movie, and fucking it would have been a whole lot better.
Right.
Which we also said that a 3-episode television series, which
I want to check out that cut that's online to see how it flows as a movie or a long, like a 3-hour series.
I don't have to check it. I understand you want to check it out. Oh, excuse me, I just burp talked. I don't know how to. I understand you would want to check it out. I just everything that was described in the description kind of explained it all for me. Like, I don't need to look at it because I'm pretty positive that's everything we said. That if they would just do all of those things, then we won't have any problems with this show. So, again, here we are with this show that's made for kids. I really couldn't see anything that I could take out of this show to make this show better, because this show wasn't made for me.
Right.
But I do like some of the reveals. I like the last episode based on the fact that we get mutants said, and we get the word mutant said for the first time in the MCU, and we get mutation is what he actually said, and we get Captain Marvel herself as a cameo.
Yeah, that was interesting.
You know, just leading us into the super marginal.
Captain Marvel.
Just leading us into the over marginalized movie that's coming down the pipeline, where clearly someone at Disney or Marvel Studios hates Brie Larson.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Brie Larson.
Yo, somebody put it in the comments if you know, please. Brie Larson, if you're in trouble, hold up a sign. If you're in trouble, if you're in trouble, wear a green scarf on your left arm next time you're on the red carpet, because we will come and save you. You don't have to be the hero for everybody.
Yeah, I like the show a little bit more than you did. I mean, I also like, you know, I think that there's a lot of kids movies that I like. It's funny, I watched Klaus for the first time today because I'm like working on a Christmas movie video. But anyway, this little inside baseball. Watched Klaus today and I fucking cried because it's just so well written.
No, you cried because it was bad.
I cried because I was what? Because I was mad.
I said you cried because it was bad.
Oh, because it was bad. No, yeah, like it was just such a sweet story, and I just
I can't believe I wasted my time on this. Damn.
But yeah, like I do like the way that this was written. It felt very felt a lot like a Spider-Man comic book, especially like some of the Ultimate comic books where he's just dealing with like kid stuff. I actually enjoyed the high school and family stuff more than like some of the superhero stuff, because superhero stuff, like the villains were kind of lazily written and the CGI for her powers seemed kind of bad, especially since like we already talked about this on the Obi-Wan episode, how this had a bigger budget than Obi-Wan. But now I'm just like, where'd that budget go, though? Because it still doesn't look very good. Or at least the CGI doesn't look good.
Shout out to, I can't even give you the YouTuber's name, but there's a guy who's done a lot of videos on YouTube about that exact fact, that exact topic. CGI in Marvel is going into the shitter.
Right. And yeah, I do. Yeah, I do know.
And
I had
also,
to watch that video.
Also, there's a video out there about Marvel's writing going into the shitter.
No, it's and I haven't watched those videos specifically, but I do know that they're overworked and
Yep,
you know,
they talk about that in the
and
video.
Also over criticized, because there's a video that I watched from Quarter Crew where they just talk about, like, you know, how they get overly criticized. They were specifically talking about the She-Hulk trailer. It's like, it's not as bad as people are saying it is. So these are professionals, so I'm willing to agree with that.
No, it wasn't as bad as people are saying it is, because, like, I don't notice it until I look at it like 4 or 5 times. And really what it comes down to is it going to look like that when we watch it in the movie? I mean, when we watch it on the screen.
Right.
So that's... I don't really. That's really no reason. You guys have no idea what the turnaround time for just an edit of a trailer to go out. You have no fucking clue. And all of the studio houses are working to the very last second that those things go on television to get them out.
Right.
So shout out to all those guys and gals that do all of that, because it doesn't get done. You guys don't even have nothing to fucking critique or fucking do YouTube videos about if you don't even have that. So shout out to them.
And I will even say,
I will say this: those special effects people aren't unionized apparently. I didn't know that.
And to also like give a little bit more credit their way, like there were some scenes scenes in the very last episode where like it's clear that they haven't really cracked how they're going to display her powers very well, like in an impressive way. But they do like a nice, interesting trick where they focus on her feet as she's like using the solid light as like a platform as she's walking through, and she has like comedically wait at the stop sign. There's really no narrative reason for her to for you to only see her feet. It just did seem like it was like kind of a trick to be like, oh, if we show her whole body in this wonky CGI, it's gonna look really bad. But if we just focus on her feet and like the shoes and everything, it'll look a lot more interesting.
Well, I mean, you can say that, or you could. I mean, there's multiple practical reasons you do that. I mean, like it gives you, it's like a POV almost, but without, you know, like it's obviously not her point of view, but it's like a certain point of view that we're looking at it from. and we also get to experience her powers at the same time. But also, you don't need a stunt person either.
Right.
So, there's all kinds of practical reasons you just go for the feet. It's cheaper.
Right. Yeah.
There's all kinds of reasons that works, and it's a good shot.
Right. Yeah.
So nobody's mad at that.
It's a good shot, and they also use their budget and time.
Look, this is probably the best CGI that we've seen in a long time because Thor had some gaffes.
I just wasn't a big fan of
I'm just saying the Thor I liked Thor as a movie really per se, but that mask was wonky that he had.
Yeah, the one scene where Natalie, you talking about Natalie Portman's mask that appears on her face?
No, I wasn't talking about that one. I was actually talking about when Thor kind of gets really jealous.
Right.
When he first sees her and he's like, Thor spoilers. Excuse me.
Yeah, right.
He sees
that's yeah.
So when he sees her and he's puts on his mask because he sees her with a mask, he's like, oh wait, yeah, I can do that too.
Right.
But his shit looked doofy because
because
it wasn't in the first movie it was a practical one.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So
and they never bring that helmet back. I really like the helmet with the wings.
Well, exactly. So it's if you're gonna make him wear one all of a sudden in this movie, why not just bring it back? Why? Because it's cheaper to wear these CGI guys out who aren't union,
right?
And fucking get them to do it than for us to pay these guys who gotta fucking actually do mask and construction and set design over this fucking mask, and they're gonna ask me for another $200,000 for me to do that.
Right. Yeah, and I think that there was even an interview that was unnamed worker from one of these Marvel movies. You say it's basically you have to turn in something by Wednesday, and then you turn it in on Wednesday, and then they're like, oh well, you need to change this. Actually, we want you to do this, this, and this, and this, and we want you to turn it in by Friday. But it's 5 days worth of work. So it's that's what every week looks like for these people. So it's more so just a management issue, I think, than fully these guys making bad CGI. If they had the time, they'd come out with something immaculate. But as it is, I'm not a fan of how her powers look in the show. But to delve into a little bit more of the show itself, this show follows Kamala Khan, our first Pakistani superhero in the MCU, a 16-year-old high schooler and fangirl of the Avengers, particularly Carol Danvers. She receives a package from her of items from her grandmother Sana, including a golden bangle.
Naughty.
And after failing to convince her parents to let her go to AvengerCon, Kamala, because they're very traditional, Kamala sneaks out with her,
as everyone is with their 15-year-old.
Yeah, and this is what I've heard, secondhand, but immigrant parents or second generation immigrant kids tend to have pretty overbearing parents.
I think it's regular parenting. For you to not want your 15-year-old to go out into the streets of New Jersey.
Oh, for sure. But they're also just not really into the pop culture,
Yeah, but that doesn't have nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm just saying, I'm just saying they could be into all the pop culture. They could be into pornography. They just, you're not letting your kid go out at 15 years old, 16 years old. 15 years old. Look, you can't drive, bitch. You just showed you couldn't. We just had a scene where you showed you couldn't even drive.
Right.
If you can't drive, you won't survive.
Well, yeah,
you can't go out there, bitch. Sure. You can't go out there in the world.
But I'm just trying to paint a picture of her relationship with her parents.
I know. I'm just trying to make sure the picture is painted accurately and we don't go outside the line.
No, yeah, they're definitely reasonable parents, in wanting her to be safe and all that stuff. I'm saying. And I kind of twigged as soon as she got the bangle that it was somewhat. I'm not sure if anybody else has said this out in the internet world, so you can let me know. The bangle, is it somewhat?
That's what I am, people. I'm the
well, you're tapped into the zeitgeist.
I tap the zeitgeist. I tapped the zeitgeist
you
on
watch
Saturday.
Heavy spoilers.
I tapped into some zeitgeist.
I don't even know if that's even supposed to mean. I'm not gonna ask. But I don't know I will.
Sounded nice, didn't it? Say it.
Zeitgeist.
I said what I said. It sounded nice, didn't it?
Sure.
You liked it. He liked it, y'all. He liked it.
But yeah, like, have they mentioned that like the bangle has like some sort of connection to the 10 rings and like they're from like the same origin? Because it seemed like they're both like.
Well, see, they kind of
like
did.
That.
Remember when they said because they said that the bangle had some origin from another dimension.
Right.
And then they said that same thing about the rings.
Yeah, and that they were like super old.
And sorry, I sound crazy. Listen to me. That's how old niggas think. God damn it. When they had the flashback of the djinn finding the bangle.
Right.
At the bottom underneath their feet was the symbol of the 7 rings.
The 10 rings, yeah.
10 rings. So that lets you know that it is connected to the 10 rings, for sure.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool addition there. And also hold on. There's another connection to the comic books, because we got to always bring it back to the comic books. Shout out to Comic Book Trap House. Shout out to Vic. Shout out to Reddy C. Shout out to the whole family. But yeah, we always got to bring it back to comic books. And in the comic books, Captain Marvel, the man, had these bands that connected him to another character in the comics, and it was in a different dimension or a different universe. And they used to swap places and shit. Ah.
Yeah. Word to life, dog. Word to life, son. Word to life. Okay, and so now you know that the connection right there, I think that's what the real connection is, because they told us that there's a second bangle out there, 2 bangles.
And we definitely see some sort of transference of beings toward the end of the season, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, that's an interesting tidbit. I did not know that. But yeah, then
switch spots. And then what happened in the end of this series?
Well, before we get to, like I said, we'll get into that.
I'm just saying, letting you know, hey yo, so what happened?
But yeah, after at some point Kamala finds out that the bangle is sort of helping activate her own superpowers, which at this point I already was like, oh, she's a mutant. I forgot to look up whether she's a straight up mutant in the comics. Like if Kamala is.
I think everybody's a mutant in the comics, Alex.
Some people are magical. Some people are fucking whatever.
She's an inhuman.
The result of an experiment.
She's an inhuman in the comics. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. Some people are different things in the comic book. And yes, she is an inhuman in the comics. You're welcome that I did all this research, because you know what? Fuck this show, man. This show is not good. And the comic is not good either.
You read the comic?
By the way.
To each their own. Again, I didn't have a problem with the show. I just didn't like the superhero aspects of the stuff very, very much.
Yeah,
but I did like
superhero show. You didn't like the superhero aspects. So
hey,
I think that kind of leaves the show into a big disarray of bullshit.
Hey,
I'm just saying, we could watch Steve Harvey show if we go watch some kids in high school and just try to watch something interesting that has nothing to do with superheroes.
Right. I mean, well, fair enough. I enjoyed this more than Moon Knight, which like most of that stuff is like.
I actually enjoyed Moon Knight more than this, but it's just because I like the fight scenes. I like everything was way better in Moon Knight than this, because I'm not 16. That's all.
Well, yeah, I feel like they're both like had some of the same problems with a weak villain and me not caring too much about the storyline of like the hero aspects of the stuff. And I feel like also the stakes are way too high. Like it doesn't have to be a world-ending event. Like it should just be like this story would have been a lot more interesting if it was just about her as a small.
You got to realize that's asking a lot for you to say it doesn't have to be a world-ending event when literally everything in the comic books is a world-ending event, and that's kind of the purpose of it. It's like this guy is trying to take over the world or might end the world, but nobody. I'm just saying, but it's like nobody is there to thank those heroes for what they've been doing, because most things go unknown.
Right.
And
I
then,
definitely.
And then the real cataclysmic, universal things, like that's when they all have to come together.
Well,
right. That's when you need the Avengers, because all of them individually save the world on their own. But that's what makes the Avengers have to come together, because you have to have something that's bigger than these threats.
Right. Well, I mean, one of the things I just in comparison, one of the things I like so much about Daredevil and stuff is because like it doesn't have to be, you know, the world is ending. Maybe you're just trying to save your block. Maybe you're just trying to save your city.
But that's not the powers that these people have. Like, I mean,
again,
I'm just saying to your point, Ms. Marvel could kill Daredevil. I mean, she's
but also
16,
to your point, she's 16 years old, and like maybe we get her first story is something a little bit smaller. Like,
no, maybe you make her. Maybe you just
about this
right. Maybe
story.
you just make her story something that people could care about. You saying it that is small, that is big is the problem. No, it's because it's bad is the problem. It's forced on you, and it's like no explanation for anything. Maybe if we'd have started with the grandmother story first, and then like ran into that, maybe we didn't have to start with this kid's story. Maybe because overall, all the character building that they did was really done in the first episode, and they just drug it out like it was like we are in 2022. Everybody knows that brown people have struggle, and we know most all brown people struggle, so we don't have to like beat it down into the like ethos of our brain. Like I'm just saying, like, we should. Not saying not all of us. I'm just saying most people who are watching this series from the corners of the earth that they're watching it on, most of us know Pakistani or Middle Eastern people. We know somebody of different ethnic groups, and most of us know these cultures, and we didn't need a whole history lesson on. I mean, I guess they don't really got the History Channel no more. Maybe these kids do need it. See, this is what I'm saying. This is not made for me. I know about
these kids today.
I know about Pakistan didn't exist. Really, is just India. I know that.
Right.
I didn't need all of that history lesson. I'm just saying, like, because to me, you could just talk about it and do the story without, going over the history lesson.
Yes, it's very clear that they wanted to have their Lovecraft Country moment where we go back in time and have a significant impact on your past in your own like life, but also like historically with the culture that they're trying to depict.
But that's not what happened.
I mean, that's what happened in episode 5. Like, she went back in time and she's like, "Oh, it was me." And the same thing that happened in Lovecraft Country when he went back in time and saved his dad. It's like, "Oh, that's the story that you were talking about." Me, like, they try to have that same kind of moment, which is obvious, but. And fair enough. Like, it could, like, I could see it being a little heavy-handed. I didn't personally feel that way.
Yeah, but the
also,
only reason that worked on Lovecraft Country, to your point, is because they built up an entire character and had an entire like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you were invested in what this person had going on with his past.
Right. Yeah. No, it was definitely better done. Yeah.
Like, and the way they connected it was a FaceTime conversation with half of her Nati's face.
Right, yeah.
So that was not very. That didn't work.
No, yeah, that definitely didn't feel like it worked.
That's just worse. Yeah, I mean, it's not even worse. It's not even almost attempting to land the spot. It's like if I go over here and try to do a backflip, but I roll on my stomach when I do it.
Right. I mean, yeah, again, it wasn't very well.
It was so bad, man.
Yeah, like the 5th episode wasn't my favorite of the ones, mainly because I feel like it just super diverged from the storyline. Like in Lovecraft Country,
I forgot what the 5th episode was. I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the flashback episode we're talking about. Where
okay.
Yeah, but that was bad. Yeah, like in Lovecraft Country, it's more just like involved with what all the characters are trying to do, and this is just like it seems like we're just having a flashback episode, and we jump back into what the real show is. But yeah, like, and me is just like a dumb American. Like, I liked all the inclusion of all the like the Pakistani culture stuff with her family. And I thought her brother was really funny, and her dad. No,
he was that's the reason he's in the last episode at the scene when they go to fight the police and shit, the agents.
Yeah, he was. I thought he was great.
That's the only reason he's in that scene, because he is absolutely amazing. Yeah. They were like, "You stick around. We're gonna need you. We're gonna need you more. Just stay here."
Yeah.
I can't remember what I've seen him in before, but I've seen him in something before.
Yeah, all the stuff with the family, like I really loved, and that was like my favorite stuff in the show. And I could see how, like, because there were, I mean, like, again, I'm like being removed, not being ingratiated in Pakistani culture. I didn't feel like it was a little too much, but I do, like, just speaking from a black man who watched Luke Cage, I remember there were moments where he would just be like, look at the park we're sitting in. This was all built by black people. You should have more respect for, like, nigga, calm down. Like, so I can see how, like, it could be like overbearing.
Yeah, that's how I felt. So, you're absolutely right. That's exactly how that felt watching this. So
right, and I've had other people.
I've had people tell me that, and so that's what annoyed me about the show.
Right, and I've had people who said that they love Luke Cage and they didn't feel that way.
Who said that they love this show and they didn't feel that way as well.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I'm not questioning how you feel about it, people. I'm not questioning how you feel about it. I'm not questioning how he feels about it. You see him over there? Look at him. Wave, Alex. See. I know it's bad. I'm not questioning none of that. It wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? But it had some good things in it. And I'm willing to acknowledge that as well.
It's funny how you're like, hey, I'm not questioning. I'm not trying to judge whether you liked it or not. I'm just saying that you were wrong if you did like it.
Yeah, there is no debate. There is no debate. It was bad. It was bad. It was terrible.
But I did. Like again.
Did you like the Miss Marvel? Did you like the actress?
Yeah, I did like the actress. I thought that she was fine. I thought her and her chemistry with Bruno, the white dude who was like her best friend. I thought that was like cute. Like the first episode, I really liked.
Did you like her friend?
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah.
No, I thought the other friend, Nina.
With who had the hijab?
Yeah.
She was cool. I was like, oh, she's got a really nice screen presence. I thought her story was kind of trash. I didn't really care about it, but
it was dumb. But there's girls like that are white, but
yeah,
white.
You know what? I will say that.
So
yeah, I will say like
where do I belong? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I said, not for us.
Yeah, I will. Again, I won't say that it's trash. I will say more just like it was a storyline I wasn't as interested in. As much as some of the other like just family high school stuff.
Right. So then that's another question right here. You liked the agent shit, the DODD?
Oh yeah, that's another example of like lame villains. I hated the damage control shit. The damage control lady was like the worst.
You know who was worse than her? Her supervisor. Get your ass back here right now. What did you do? You know what you did? You know what you did? Like, nigga, he was doing all his lines as if they weren't gonna show her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but they ended up doing both of their
going.
They did going back and forth. So he did all of that. You could tell he did all of his lines like he wasn't like he knew somebody else wasn't gonna be going back and forth. He was just gonna be there yelling.
Yeah, I feel like
that was really bad.
He's reprising his role from No Way Home, and I feel like he got a lot of. I feel like he got a lot of. I'm just more saying that for like the listeners.
Sorry.
Like, I know that nigga.
He's doing that for you. He's doing that for you. For you.
But I feel like he got some good because I thought he was good in that his little bit part. But I think that he just like took that performance like, oh, people liked what I did in that. I'm gonna do like that.
No, I think that was a directorial issue where they said, "This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do." I gotta say, look, I would not be surprised if they told him we're gonna use this shot. Nobody's gonna be on the other end. You just go.
It's funny that you say that because as much as I like, I don't know, like as much as I liked most like the show, I'd say like I like 65% of the show. But I will say that I had little faith going into it just because the showrunners, they made Bad Boys 3 and I fucking hated that movie. I was like, oh man, these guys do not know how to make good show. I mean, like they don't know how to get to the.
Do they make that show that Jessica Alba and what's her name are on?
I don't think so. Did that come out?
I don't know if it actually even came out. It came out in Los Angeles for like a pilot.
Okay.
I don't know if it actually came out on
It aired.
television.
Yeah.
It aired for 30 million people.
It was a Tuesday.
There's 3.8 billion in this country. So I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, the whole damage control stuff was just like, was also lame. All the villain parts of this were kind of
Bad.
And
What you
the
think about
threat.
the little boy coming villain? He done became a villain. He was a villain for 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, that was also bad. And that was just like a bigger example of how bad the CGI was too. It's like, oh, we're just
Bigger
gonna
example of how bad the storyline was. They killed the actual villain 2 episodes before they were even actually ready to stop doing it, or an episode before they were even actually ready to stop the story.
Right. Yeah, she turned bad really quickly, and then
And turned good even quicker.
yeah, it was.
And how did what she did stop the thing? How did that close the gate in any way, shape, or form?
Right.
That's not explained.
Yeah.
I don't know how you say you like this show.
Again, like I said, I liked like 65% of it.
You liked like 25% of it.
Let me say what I liked.
I'm saying the percentage is off though. You liked exactly all of the homely parts of it and none of the superhero parts. Is like, God damn.
Well, that's like, again, the most of the show, especially in the front end, like the first 3 episodes, it'll be like, 75% like Bruno and Kamala just try to figure shit out with their powers, sneak out and like text each other and do all this cool shit, and then like it'll be backloaded with, and now she's got to use her CGI powers to save a kid or save somebody at AdventureCon or something like that. And then toward the end, it started getting like front loaded, and you really start to see most of the problems that the show has. Like villains are weakly written, and all the superhero stuff are just kind of lame. When I feel like, if you just made it just like a Monster of the Week type of show where it's just like she's just getting to learn her powers, and then at the end, Bruno's like, "You're a mutant." Like, I don't think that you could have changed. Like, anything really would have changed if you just take out all those.
We
other
get
stuff.
Captain Marvel.
Right. Yeah, I feel like, if you take out all that other.
I'm saying I like all that. Everything you said makes it better, and that's why it was not good.
Yeah, and I try not to like write a better show. Like again, like I try to do like
you just
I started to do that with Obi-Wan. I'm gonna try not to do that when we talk about Stranger Things when that comes up. But like,
because you can't.
Okay, but also everybody's gonna have their the things that they like about the show and things they want to keep and take out. But what did you think of the very end of the show? We talked about it a little bit, but what did you think of the mutants reveal and the Captain Marvel stuff?
I love the mutant reveal. It was the only reason I feel like I didn't kill myself after I watched this show.
If you feel you were contemplating suicide,
hey,
it's like, just watch something else.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I was like, God damn it, I knew I shouldn't have watched this. Because we talked about it, like, should we watch it? I was like, hey, man, we might as well. You know what I'm saying? We out here watching all the Marvel, man. We might as well. And then I was wrong.
Oh, and I also will say, just like really, really quickly, that this show got a lot of flack for like not being highly rated at the beginning, but also I feel like Disney Plus was working against that shit. They
had Obi-Wan on at the same day at the same time.
Right. Like, what do you think that people were going to watch? So that was just
stupid fucks.
That was a bad decision, scheduling wise.
Stupid motherfuckers! What's wrong with you? That's dumb.
But what did you? But I didn't even notice.
I like the Captain Marvel thing. On like I told you about the bangles and all that shit and the swap.
Swappity.
And I love Brie Larson. So
yeah, excited to see what what happens in this Marvel's
movie. I hope that none of them other bitches are really in her movies that much at all. That's what I hope.
Yeah, right. Tiana Paris and I forget what the actress's name.
You did a great job. Girl who played Kamala, you did a great job. I don't want to see y'all funky asses in my girl's movie, because you know what? Y'all deserve y'all own movie, and she deserved her movie that she's already fucking got y'all a movie for. She done did such a good job in her movie. Y'all got a movie. So look, get up out the movie, goddammit.
Right. Yeah.
Save Brie Larson.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
She's the new Maeve, man. Like, for real, like Maeve from The Boys.
Right.
Where is Brie Larson?
Where is Brie? Yeah, I love Brie Larson. I love the character Captain Marvel. They've pretty much like the character of Thor is very much like Captain Marvel in the comics. So I hope that they just decide to just do the same thing with Captain Marvel in the next movie and just make her more Thor-like.
Don't tell these. No, most of these Marvel guys right now, they do not like that. They do not like what I'm just saying they don't like because they don't like an infallible. It's not they don't like an infallible woman, but I will agree that they are starting to write these women in a box where they don't have any like flaws, any necessary like not just the women. They're doing it with Thor and they're doing it with all the characters. They need to create some more flaws in these characters. That's what Marvel Comics is about, and that's why it's awesome to watch Marvel Comics. I mean, read Marvel Comics because they have flaws, and they're not Batman. They're not Superman, where they don't, where they always just do the right thing all the time.
Right. So. Yeah, one of the things that I will talk about this in my Thor character analysis video that I'm going to come out with in a little bit, but one of the things that I think that they do with Thor and with Captain Marvel in the comics is that you give them these emotional and psychological flaws where their arrogance and stuff starts to work against how strong they are, and that more comes into play when you go into these weird worlds and planets where they encounter weapons and scenarios they never seen before. So hopefully they just delve into the weirdness of the space. While also delving into the problems with her arrogance and her carefree, devil-may-care attitude in the future. But yeah, I can't wait till the Marvel's movie comes out. Get more Brie and Tiana and Miss Marvel. Thank you for listening to Drunk Banthas Podcast, guys. We do this every once in a while, so go ahead and leave a like and subscribe so you can get updates on new videos. Check us out on Twitter, IG, TikTok, likewise, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the internet things at the Drunk Banthas. Until next time, stay safe, my little mutants! And may the force be with you.
Only reason I don't watch this fucking show.